Good morning, grade 10. This is Mrs. Pascale. Today's section is Radical Expressions, Chapter 10, Section 10.2, Part 2. The objective of this section is to simplify radicals. Correction of the homework. The first radical is 225. 225 should be written into product of prime factors. So we need to do the prime decomposition of this number in order to reduce the radical writing. So after doing the division, we get 225 is equal to 3 square times 5 square. So square root of 225 is equal square root of 3 square times 5 square. And from the property of calculation of radicals, since we can write each term in a radical when there is a multiplication, so we can write radical 3 square times radical 5 square. Remember that the role of the square root is to simplify the exponent by its half. So square root of 3 to the power of 2 is equal to 3, and square root of 5 square is equal to 5, and hence we can get the product of 3 times 5, which is 15. Now for radical 128. So first we need to start by finding the product of prime factors forming the number 128. So after doing the division, we get, as shown, 2 to the power 7. But since the work or reduction of a square root consists on working with even exponent, so it's useless to write 2 to the power 7. That's why we need to write 2 times 2 to the power 6 or any even exponent. So since 128 is formed by 2 to the power 6 times 2, now we can split the radical over each factor. So it's radical 2 times radical 2 to the power 6. And the reduced answer of radical 2 to the power 6 gives 2 to the power 3, since any even power of a prime number inside the radical can reduce to its half. And we get finally 2 to the power 3 times radical 2, which gives 8 radical 2. For radical 18a square, since we can write directly 18 in the form of 2 times 3 square, which is 2 times 9. So 2 times 3 square a square. And we have two factors with even powers, so they can be reduced outside the radical, and we get 3a square root of 2. To simplify the following radical, radical 700, I didn't use the prime decomposition, since we can write simply 700 as product of 7 times 10 to the power of 2. So it gives 10 radical 7. You can use the prime decomposition method and you will obtain the same result. If for the following, radical 8 times radical 32, as we stated before, when we have product of two radicals, we need first to reduce it into one radical. So it gives radical 256. After that, we need to do the prime decomposition of this value. So it's a square root of 2 to the power 8. The reduced form of this writing is equal to 2 to the power 4, since, again, the square root of any number with exponent reduces its exponent into its half. So half of 8 is 4. Radical of 6 times radical of 24, it gives radical of 144. After doing the prime decomposition, we get radical of 3 squared times 2 to the power of 4. Reducing this writing, it gives 3 times 2 to the power of 2, which is 12. Or simply, if you can memorize the perfect square of numbers, 144 is known as 12 square, and directly you can write radical of 144 is equal to 12. After rewriting the previous correction, please answer the following question. Thank you.